Hello, happy weekend. It's been a long time since we had a video lesson. This one's pretty short. It's just going to build off of what we did on Friday with primary trigonometry and using sine, cos, and tan. Our goal is to learn about continue to learn with sine, cosine, tangent. Make sure it's only a right angle triangle, and we are going to solve using sine, cosine, and so the first thing we're going to do is a little warm-up, just to make sure we're all on the same page. Make sure your calculator is in degree mode. And we're going to find sine, cos, and tan of each one of those angles to 2 decimal places. So again, make sure your calculator is in degree mode before you begin. And type in sine 53, cos 86, tan 71, and see what you get. So sine 53, hopefully when we round the 2 decimal places, you should have got like 0.7986. If you have to go to 2 decimal places, really that's going to round to 0.80. Next one, cos 86. 2 decimal places should be 0.0. You should have got 697, which rounds to 0.07. And then tan 71. 2 decimal places, 2.9042, which rounds to 2.90. Hopefully you got all that right. We're going to go right into some examples. So the first two, we're going to solve for x, rounding to 1 decimal place. Yesterday or Friday, we did solving for angles. Today we are solving for sides. So you can see yesterday our x's or our question marks were in the angle spot. Today they're going to be on the outside of one of your side lines. Exact same 3 steps from yesterday or Friday. So label your triangle using your reference angle. Your reference angle is the angle that was given to you in the question. Like we did on Friday, it's a good idea to circle it. So there's my reference angle. Now you're going to label your triangle relative to that 53 degrees. So this is opposite, this is adjacent, and this is hypotenuse. The only one that gives you no information is hypotenuse. So like we did on Friday, cross it out, kind of erase it from your visual sideline. And O and A, how do we know? So this is step 2, decide to use sine, cos, or tan. So we have those 3 magic words, SOH CAH TOA. So I have O and A, opposite and adjacent. The only one that O and A goes with is TOA, and the T stands for tan. And tan of what? Tan of the thing that you circled, so tan of your angle equals, and again it goes in order. So O over A, opposite over adjacent. In this case, our opposite is x. Our adjacent is 17 centimeters. How do you solve that ratio? You quickly cross multiply 17 and 53 equals x. And then you can type that in your calculator just like you see it. Again, make sure your calculator is still in degree mode. We only want to go to 1 decimal place. So if you're looking at a calculator right now, you should have got 22.55. If we round to 1 decimal place, that will round to 22.6 centimeters equals x. So just to recap, step 1, circle your reference angle. There's step 1. Step 2, decide to use sine, cos, or tan. So there's step 2. We decided to use tan because we were given opposite and adjacent. The hypotenuse did nothing for us. And then set up an equation and solve. Here is our step 3. So let's try it again for the next one. Circle your reference angle, 51. Remember from Friday, you can never pick 90 as your reference angle. So there's 51. Label your sides relative to that. So that's opposite. Right across from the 90 is always the hypotenuse, and then right beside it is the adjacent. We're looking for x. Adjacent gives us nothing. So we're going to cross out the adjacent, get rid of it from our field of view. And now we decide SOH CAH TOA. We have opposite and hypotenuse. The only one that goes with opposite and hypotenuse that has an O and an H in it is the SOH, and the S stands for sine. Or you write beside the sine, the thing that you circled, your angle, and again it goes in order. O over H, opposite over hypotenuse. So in this case our opposite is x, our hypotenuse is 9. How do you solve that? Quick cross multiply step. 9 sine 51 equals x. Type that into your calculator just like you see it. You should have got 6.9943. If we only want to round to one decimal place, that's going to end up rounding to just 7.0 feet equals x. Looking at that second one, there is a quick kind of built-in self-check. If you got, let's say, 10 for x, you should know right away that you're wrong. And how you know is because your hypotenuse is 9, and that's supposed to be your longest side. So if you entered something in by mistake and you ended up getting 10 feet, you know that's longer than 9, which is your hypotenuse, supposed to be your longest side. Therefore, you must have entered something incorrectly or done a misstep somewhere. Make sure that you go back and double check your answer because you know that it has to be less than 9. Our next example, 1C, this one's by itself. It's a little bit different. So same 3 steps though. So we're still going to circle our reference angle. Again, you can't pick 90, so pick the one that was given to you that's not 90. Label your sides. So opposite, hypotenuse, adjacent. Which one gives you nothing? Adjacent. Now decide what to use. So SOH CAH TOA. And we were given opposite, we're looking for hypotenuse, O and H. O and H goes with SOH. What does the S stand for? Sine. Beside it is your angle, 37 degrees. And again, it goes in order. O over H, opposite over hypotenuse, so 10 centimeters over x. Now this one's different because our x, the variable we are looking for, is in the bottom of my ratio as opposed to on the top. So it's on the top, quick cross multiply step, and away you go. In this case, we have to get x to the top, so we're still going to cross multiply, but this is almost like cross multiplying twice. So kind of have a double-ended arrow there just to signify that you're going to cross multiply twice. And effectively what's going to happen is x is going to slide up. So x comes up here. And sine 37 slides down to the bottom. So sine 37. So again, it's kind of like a double cross multiply. The x multiplies up to the top left. The sine 37 multiplies down to where the x used to be. So we're left with 10 divided by sine 37. So 10 divided by sine 37. We're going to round to one decimal place. You should have got 16.616. If you round to one decimal place, you should end up with 16.6 centimeters. Hopefully there's no questions with that. If there is, again, make sure you review this slide, this part of the video. This is really the only tricky part about the primary trig stuff is when you have a variable on the bottom, you just have to remember that variable slides up, basically switches spots with the sine, cos, or tan on the other side. And that's it for your video lesson. Again, very quick one, just building off of Friday's material. On Monday, we're going to do some mixed practice, so mixing, finding side lengths and angles all together. Tuesday, we're going to look at some word problems. Wednesday is your review period. Thursday is your test. And again, make sure that if you're responsible, let me know if you're not going to be here on Thursday, and you can certainly write your test on Wednesday. Your receipt work. This is expected to be completed over the weekend. It's not going to be like our typical flipped video lesson where you do the lesson at night and do the homework on the next day. Again, we kind of had to do this to fit this last kind of lesson in before Christmas break. So make sure you try these questions over the weekend because you're not going to get any time during the week in class to work on these. So pages 398, 403, 6, 8, 10, 1, 5, 10, 12. Have a great weekend, everybody, and see you on Monday.